Hey there, my friend. Welcome, and I hope you are having a fantastic start to your day. Today, I wanted to do just a little shorty video on a mindset shift that I think is important, particularly for parents who have a child with a delay, especially like a speech and language delay. And that is because there are lots of folks in the toddler speech space that are sharing strategies, myself included. But this is where I want to see a mind shift for parents. And that is that when you see these strategies, and if they're not shared with the why, meaning the developmental aspects behind it, it can often lead to failure and frustration when you go to implement it. And maybe you've experienced this already. And the reason for this is because not every strategy is going to work for every child, and not every strategy is going to be implemented at the right time with your child. And that's where understanding the why is important. So that's why I feel like a lot of times parents are putting the cart before the horse, meaning they're doing a strategy that's above their child's development or speech level. And I get why we do it. I did it with my daughter when she was a toddler and wasn't talking. It's because we're desperate. We are so desperate to hear those elusive words, to have conversations with our kids, to hear and see them talking with peers. But when we're looking at speech delays, I encourage parents to see it as a road trip. I love traveling, if you haven't been able to tell by analogies from other videos. So if you think about a road trip, you know your goal and your destination. And in this case, it would be your child using words, but have not mapped out the route. So you wouldn't go on a long road trip without planning and prep, right? You would look at a map, figure out stopping points, where you'll spend the night, attractions that you might want to see along the way. You'd prep the car, getting it tuned up, filling up the tank. You'd make sure you were adequately prepared with foods and snacks for the trip. But why don't we think of that when it comes to helping our child build a particular skill? I feel like there is pressure on parents out there to get on the highway because it's the best way to get kids to their destination. And it may work for many kids, but here's the thing. You aren't alone on this journey. You have your child and family along on this ride, and they just may have other ideas on what route they want to take. They may require a slower, more scenic route with stopovers that last a bit longer than you would hope for. There may be unexpected roadblocks that lead to a stall on progress and getting to your destination, which requires regrouping, choosing a different path, or being okay where you are until your child is ready to get back on the road. So what does prepping for your speech journey look like? Well, understanding normal speech development is like your primary map. And this isn't just knowing the skills that they should have by such and such age. It's understanding how these skills build on each other. For each one of those skills, there are a subset of smaller skills. And this is what they really don't talk about a lot. So think of each of the speech milestones that you find on those language checklists as a house. It's made up of beams and drywall and so on. The house can't stand without them. The same is true for many of the speech milestones. They can't be achieved without the subset of skills being in place. So if understanding development is your primary roadmap, then the next step is to see if there are any potential roadblocks or construction that you need to prepare for. So some of the roadblocks that I see most often include temperament, those strong-willed kids who know that you're trying to get them to talk and feel compelled to do the opposite. Or behavior, and you've probably seen this, little ones who are having constant tantrums and meltdowns during communication routines. And let's be clear that behavior is communication, but we have to help those kiddos figure out a higher level way of communicating those needs. Or not understanding a child's communication style, or yours as a parent and how they work together, or in some cases don't. And then finally, sensory processing challenges. I see this a lot with those busy bees that are in constant motion. It's hard to learn if you can't sit still to take information in. So these roadblocks or temporary stalls in movement are usually your child's way of saying it's time to get off the highway and take a slower and more scenic route for a bit. While we want to get to the destination quickly, we have to respect, understand, and be okay with those little side trips, knowing that at some point in time, they'll be ready to hop back on the highway. So once you have your primary roadmap of understanding the speech skills and have a plan in place for potential roadblocks, it's time to gas up the vehicle and hit the road. So language strategies are the fuel for your gas tank. When you've gone far enough with the first strategy, you'll pull into the station and fill up with the next strategy for the next leg of your journey, repeating it until you get to your end destination. So just to recap, if you take the time to find or create a roadmap based on understanding of speech development, anticipate, prepare, and try to enjoy some of the scenic bypasses that you may take to avoid roadblocks and construction, and then gas up with quality strategies that work for you and your child, you will and your child will have less frustration and a smoother and more enjoyable journey on your way to your final destination. And a year from now, you'll look back at just how far you and your child have come, having a greater appreciation for that journey. You'll both have more confidence, a much better understanding of each other, and will have strengthened the bond between you. And better yet, you'll be able to use what you've learned on this journey to better be able to support your child in the future. Okay, so that's it. I hope you found this helpful. As always, I want you to know that I think that you're amazing. I believe in you, and I'm always here for you if you need me. Until next time.